honestly, I think everyone except Atlanta, all the ladies except, Kenya and I were like we just know how it works in Atlanta. And it was kind of refreshing and confusing for me to go at it and be cool 5 minutes later. Like, I'm like, oh, wow. And that's just how it is. I definitely saw that. Kyle Richards was the only one from Beverly Hills. She definitely seemed like she say what she has to say and just let it go. Like, that's one of the things that I actually learned from the trip is to not hold on to things as long as I did, because, when Cal and I had a moment, I just couldn't let it go. I was just like, and, she's like, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? I was like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, move around. And looking back, I'm like, I would have had so much more fun had I just let it go. Just like once she apologized for the third time, at least I could just let it go. But I was like, I could not let it go. And then at that point, it just was like I had to try to figure out, how to get out of that, because it just affected my whole trip after that point.
Were you shocked? Because I would say, if I had to predict, I would say Kyle and you are the least two that I would expect any type of
for sure
friction between and in a million years.
Yeah, Kyle and I have friends in common. Kyle's a great time. I've always liked Kyle, kind of from afar. And we had some great conversations. As a matter of fact, she gave me some amazing marriage advice. Her and Mauricio have been together for years, for a very long time. We have a beautiful family together. And one of the great pieces of advice that I took from her, and I actually apply it to my relationship with Mike, is she told me that one of the secrets, or the biggest secret to her success with her husband, is they don't hang out with single people. They only hang out with other married couples. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their social circle. And as simple as that sounds, I was like, wow, I never thought about that. And now, since she shared that with me, I shared it with Mike, and we do couples dates and nights all the time now. We really have focused on hanging out with more people that are actually in relationships. And it's great because we learn a lot from other relationships. Mike and I have only been married for a year. We've been together for like 4 or 5 years now, but only married 1 year in. And it's just great and educational at this point to just see how other couples make it work, especially if they've been together for a really long time. So I am so grateful, for that advice from Kyle, because it's really working for us. And, we have a great time. And, we literally walk away from dinners and lunches like, okay, so we're not that bad because they're a mess. You know what I mean? We feel better about ourselves. Oh, we learned something,
I never thought about it like that, but that is good advice.
Isn't that good advice?
Yeah, I never thought about that, but that makes logical sense. And right, especially if you could say, hey, we're not the crazy ones in this group.
Exactly. And then if as a married couple, like if I'm always hanging out with my girlfriends, Mike is always hanging out with his guy friends, and his single guy friends and my single girlfriends, it's like, I'm places with them that, where single people want to like attract men and vice versa. It gets a little, it could cause trouble down the line if you're not secure in the relationship, and if you guys aren't solid. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of going down a slippery slope.
That makes sense. And like, why, if you have each other, why put yourself in those situations anyway?
Exactly.
Well, you and Kenya went into this like friends, and you had some bumps in the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then, recently you admitted like, hey, like this is, I admitted I was jealous.
Right.
I think we all, like as a viewer, kind of was looming, like you kind of figured that out. So, that's not an easy thing to admit.
Oh, not at all. And honestly, it took me a while to even realize why I was feeling the way I was feeling, but it wasn't even so much I was jealous of the fact that she was getting along with, a lot of the ladies. It was the fact that I felt like in that process of her getting along with some of the ladies, because I got along with everybody too, for the most part. I felt like instead of pulling me into her situations with them, she was just kind of leaving me out. Whereas I'm very inclusive, like, hey, let's do this. Oh, come on, Kenya, let's go here. Oh, well, come on, Kenya. You know what I mean? That's just the kind of friend I am. But so I felt a little like, you know, as an empath, I just felt like the energy was just not the same energy that I was giving out. You know, it was very clear how I started off the trip, like, hey, I want you to have a good time, and you have my support. You can have the master bedroom. I just want you to be comfortable. And I'm big on energy, and I'm big on reciprocity. And I didn't feel like either was coming back to me as I was giving it out to her. And, you know, as someone who, you know, I was just really getting to know the other ladies outside of Luann, you know, I knew I had one friend going in, and that was Kenya. You know, she's my friend on the show and off the show. And I love her. And be very clear, although the dynamic of the friendship has changed, you know, I still love her and I still root for her. She killed it on Dancing with the Stars. Like, you know, anytime she needed support with that, I was happy to do it. But I had to learn how to set healthy boundaries in my friendships and relationships. You know, show people places that it does not make me feel good for them to go. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a big takeaway for me from this trip, was just really deciding how I wanted my friends to treat me, because I can, you know, lay out the red carpet for you, but if you don't do the same for me in return, you know, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But if you don't feel like that's part of your spirit house to do it back, or even be supportive, then that doesn't work for me at this point. I want that same love and reciprocity. And, you know, when it comes to energy, if I feel a certain kind of way, I never feel some kind of way if I'm getting love and, you know, being raised in a blaze of glory. I only feel some kind of way. It's like, wait, what's happening? You know? So that really hurt me, because it's tough having, you know, friendships on this show. And I've been through, you know, I was really close with Nene, you know, years ago. And, you know, it hurts when the friendships you make through on this platform ends up being something that that is not healthy for you. Sucks, because, you know, yeah, it just sucks. And I really honestly, you know, I feel I would never want this show to break up anything of mine that I cared about, my marriage, my friends, or any of those things. But I do think that you have to be very, very strong and mindful of what you're getting out of the situation, not just what you're giving, but what you're getting back.
And that is all something you learned as a result of going on Girls Trip.
100%.
About yourself.
100%.
And your relationship, like you said, it's changed with Kenya, but it's still, you're still friends.
For me, you know, excuse me, for me, the love is still there. I love her. I love Brooklyn. She's an amazing mom. I've enjoyed having, you know, I've shared some amazing times with Kenya. And just because the dynamic of the friendship has changed, and I don't focus on that friendship as much as I used to, doesn't mean that I love her any less. I just choose not to, it's just not a huge focus for me anymore.